Oh God, the internet here in my house, of all places. Hello, welcome to Telling Tales. I'm Matt. I'm the GM for tonight's ongoing Symbaroum role-playing game. Welcome. Our stream manager for tonight, as always, is the wonderful and clinically practical John, who I'm sure will say hello any moment. Any moment now. Any moment.
I'm not sure I like the sound of clinically practical.
I do. It makes you a very useful stream manager, John. And isn't that what you've always dreamed of?
Ever since I was a child.
Yes. So someone's got to have that dream, and luckily, John is the one with it, and also the stream manager. So there we go. Okay, so before we get started tonight, some relatively big old news for us. Unlike everyone else on Twitch, we have a Patreon. I know. It's a unique feature of the channel, but it's live now. So if you want, you can go check that out and support us through these horrifically, economically catastrophic times. You can find us on there as Telling Tales. If John can pop a link in the chat at some point for anyone who's interested, I'm sure we can do that.
Add it to one of our Twitch links, which we should have probably done before.
Probably done, but that sounds terribly complicated, doesn't it? There we go. It's all good. So yeah, there's multiple things on offer there. If you want to have a look, go ahead and do it. But obviously, you can get everything you've had so far for free. What a deal! Which is our delightful role playing. If you on Twitch and in VOD form on YouTube. So without any further ado, let's roll on our players for tonight, one by one.
I will go hide.
John will go hide down in his oubliette. And first, who are we going to bring on first? Let's bring on Sam first. Why not have Sam first? For some reason, we usually end up with Chris first, but this time there's Sam. So yeah. Sam, last session, Askarai had a bit of an adventure, I would say.
Yeah,
dashing out on his own to well, not quite on his own, with Shuglud, the goblin turncoat in a good way, to go kill a witch, which you dutifully did. There's Askarai. Although now it has to be said, the other members of our group have now seen what lies beneath that mask, which is the slightly creepy features of a changeling. So, how's Askarai feeling about that? About having to reveal his true form to his fellows?
I think he's okay about it. I think he mostly hides because a lot of people will give him shit if he's in a town, or just makes his life harder. But
absolutely, changelings not treated very well in the world of Symbaroum.
I think with the group now, they've been through enough stuff that, I mean, they could know he's a changeling. The priest. Fine. The priest seemed fine. He was,
and he's the worrisome one. I think.
He is the concerning one.
And speaking of the priest, let's bring on Mike, who plays Anton, our resident Theurg, and we won't make a gag about the healing this time because you did do a bit of healing last week. So
you healed me.
I turned it around. Yeah, I healed Sam. Yeah.
You've turned around those 10 or so failed rolls with a good roll. So now you're due another 9. So that's how it works. Right?
I'm convinced. Who cares about healing FNA and Steo? What, irrelevant, really. As long as you're healing me, I'm happy.
You'd think that the priest wouldn't necessarily be looking to heal the changeling out of the rest of the party, but apparently he is.
Apparently it's all fine. It's all fine. And we're so confident in the healing abilities of Anton that let's bring out Chris, who's just spent his experience points on being able to heal.
Hello.
It's Chris, a.k.a. Steo. Hello, Chris. So as we said, obviously some other people might be spending some experience points here. But the one I do know about is Steo has basically now remembered how to patch people up.
Yeah, we're retconning it in that being an active military man, he's done his fair bit of patching people up and had his basic first aid training. But things have only really now got serious and life-threatening enough for that to become an issue.
That sounds pretty useful to me. As a forewarning to everyone, though, we're kind of not exactly homebrewing. Maybe the Medicus rules are a little weird when it comes to kind of applying Medicus from different people during one kind of period of time. But we'll get through it. It's fine. Just complain in chat, and we'll take those into account. But speaking of disastrous needs for healing, let's bring on Elle, who plays Ephanea, our barbarian warrior, who is, as Chris has been pointing out last session, nearly 2 barbarian warriors.
It's true. Although saying that, kind of like game-wise, I think my toughness is sitting still at 11 out of 15. So we're
okay.
Nuts.
We're kind of because I didn't actually take any damage last session.
No, and you had a bit of healing.
Yeah, and I had a little bit of healing from Tangrad.
Yeah, he used the herbal cures.
So kind of like, even though it's like, oh god, I'm almost 2 Ephaneas, it's kind of, you know, in roleplay, yes. In actuality.
In actuality? Yeah.
I'm like,
not too bad.
Yeah. Just
It's
a
fine.
mild cut.
It's fine.
Flesh wounds.
Yeah. So there we go. As for a recap, so our heroes are basically stuck in an inn with a big enclosure around it called Jackad's Heart, near their hometown of Thistlehold. They have been besieged there overnight by some kind of horribly corrupted individual called Nightblade, who had a witch accomplice called Ashfaru, but Ashfaru took an arrow to the throat from Ascarai, so he's no longer an issue. And also, it might lead to a change in the fact that they have a big tribe, or a fairly reasonable tribe, of goblins doing their bidding. But now that Ashfaru's chemical encouragements for the others for the goblins to follow them have been neutralized, maybe things will change. You're stuck in this inn with the family that run the place, a large plant-loving ogre called Mangold, as has already been noted, floofy Ambrian minstrel called Blackhawk, and the goblin turncoat Shugled, who wants to save as much of his tribe as possible. And I believe when we left it last time, Anton was praying at the shrine that's there, that has a kind of supposed holy spring next to it of magical properties, which the inn owner had told you is long kind of dry of any kind of supernatural abilities whatsoever. But as we left it last time, Mangold, the silent, plant-loving ogre, had just tapped you on the shoulder and basically waved an old bottle of water in your face and indicated between the spring and the suspiciously healthy-looking plants, and then kind of waggled the bottle. So perhaps the well is not dry of wonderful healing properties just yet. Yeah. That's everything, right? That's pretty much everything? Yeah. Why not? No, help should be coming, right? Because the eldest daughter of Calder and Tandrag, the inn owners, Melga, had headed off to Thistlehold on a horse and was hopefully going to bring back some help. Although, if she is, that's still going to be a couple of hours away. So, we open where we left off. Ascarai, Ephanea, and Theo are just kind of sitting around like, oh my god, what next? As the rough and ready siege weapons of the goblins and Nightblade have been constructed, and Anton is there in the shrine. So, let's pick up with Anton. That seems an appropriate thing.
Sure. I guess, can I have a little bit of help understanding how this mysterious liquid, Water of the Dusk, works? Is it something that is drunk? Is it sort of poured on a wound? Do I know how to administer it?
There are slightly different usages of it.
Okay.
One of which does involve drinking it, but that's more a thing that someone consecrated to Prios does. For pure healing purposes, it is poured over a wound.
Okay.
And only usually, Water of the Dusk is made by the Church of Prios, is kind of enchanted and created by the Church of Prios, and is handed out to theurgs and holy people for use in vials of a size about that big, like like a test tube,
like the bottle that I've just been given by.
No. The like a test tube size is
Okay.
the usual size they pass out, and that has about 10 drops worth of healing in it.
Oh.
This is a large wine bottle.
Okay.
It's not all full, but if this is full of Water of the Dusk, you've never seen that much in one place. And again, the value of it is large.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna quickly go over to the sort of vegetable plot and just investigate that and like see if I can sort of ascertain anything unusual about the plants, other than the fact that they're like extremely verdant and green. Like, I guess, like, could I do some investigation to see if like they would have any sort of healing properties to them whatsoever?
Sure. You head on over and sort of I take it kind of like have a look around the plants. Mangold is kind of looming over you, looking a little not concerned, but certainly wary about what your intentions are with his beloved crops. But just having a non-destructive sniff and rummage around in the plants. Give me a roll of vigilant. Kind of probably vigilant, right? Just give me a vigilant roll at, let's say, -1. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't make it.
That's fine. You don't kind of pick up anything different about the plants at all, really. They're very, very healthy and verdant plants, but there's no odd smell to them. There's no kind of texture to them or anything like that.
Okay.
But you're not an expert on plants. So.
No, sure. Okay, well, I'm going to take the bottle and I'm going to head straight to the other members of the party. And in particular, I'm going to be walking up to Ephenea.
Sure.
At this point.
Let's bring everyone back on because I think everyone's roughly sat together.
Sure.
Mangold he's kind of walking behind you steadily and just kind of looking over your shoulder. I mean, he doesn't need to look over your shoulder. He's looking over the top of you to see what you're doing. Calder and Tandrag and Blackhawk and the three remaining children are also kind of and Shugled are all there, essentially.
Okay. Ephenea, I need you for a moment. I have something that I need to try with your wounds.
I mean, as long as the trying involves fixing them, I'm okay with this. And I'll
just need to try something for a second.
Yeah.
Kill or cure.
I can't promise anything, but this may help. It may help a lot. I guess everyone's kind of sat around a campfire right now, right?
We're indoors.
It's not really a campfire. It's just like by the gate. I think everyone are just kind of slumped out of a sense of exhaustion. And Calder and Tandrag are up on the gatehouse.
If Ephenea is slumped there, I'll just sort of take this bottle out and maybe very, very carefully, so as not to waste any of this liquid, just start to gently like dab some of it on a rag and then sort of press it against the wound.
Where you've seen Water of the Dusk applied before, it's often even just applied over the gauze.
Okay.
It kind of soaks in that way.
Sure.
So you could do it like that if you wished.
I will do it like that.
Grand. Elle, could you roll a d10, please?
I can, she says, getting her dice bag right now. Definitely didn't forget to get that.
No, we could tell you had it with you all.
Exactly. I mean, if I said I had it with me, then that must mean I had it with me.
If anything, that 2020 has taught us is your eyes lie to you. You know, it's...
Well, I mean, I do live near Barnard Castle as well, so I should go there for a test.
Yeah.
Um.
Political.
Sorry. Right.
No one in Britain knows what the hell that was about.
All right. Let's see. What do I get? A 2.
Heal 2.
Nice. So, I mean, hell, 13 out of 15 ain't bad. I'm looking
there's
more,
an immediate warmth that spreads through your body from where the liquid is kind of sprinkled on your bindings, and it's not like you can, it's not like Wolverine healing up, but you can. The warmth is definitely comforting, and you can find that you can just move a lot easier and kind of flex your muscles around the wound, and it doesn't hurt anywhere near as much.
So, obviously, I'll just kind of pat myself down a bit and stare at Anton and just, what did you just give me?
I think that Prios has blessed this place. His power extends a long way north in
That's
this
like
land.
in-game faces that I'm pulling. Just
Cauldron kind of leans down from the gatehouse and says, "But where? We've tried the water from the spring."
Just gonna say, look at the bottle and look at the ogre, and yeah.
She kind of looks up at Mangold and says, "Mangold, have you? Where did you find this?" Mangold sort of walks over to the stable and kind of peels back a big pile of straw, and underneath the pile of straw, I'm assuming people are following him to look.
Oh yeah.
Are like some missing floorboards on the stable, essentially, and in that gap are, you'd guess, between 20 to 30 empty bottles.
Oh, empty bottles. Okay.
The DM's not going to be that benevolent.
Okay.
Cauldron kind of shakes her head and says, "Was this left over from before we took the place? From Jackad's time here?" The ogre kind of, he doesn't nod, but he kind of sort of bows a little bit with his entire body. And Cauldron goes, "Well, where's the rest of it gone?" And Mangold just starts this beatific smile and turns and points at the plants.
Protect him at all costs.
Cauldron kind of stands there shaking for a second and goes, "You overgrown idiots!" and just kind of strides off, like shaking her head and yeah. She's definitely none too happy with it. Mangold kind of bows his head a little bit.
I pat him on the shoulder. No, I won't. He's probably taller than me. I pat him on the.
You can probably reach his shoulder with. Ow, my side.
Worth it. Worth it. Done.
But you would estimate, Anton, that this bottle probably has, I don't know, 100 applications of Water of the Dusk in it.
Wow.
It should almost certainly also make its way back to the church. But, it's also a time of need.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that can only be applied once a day, let's say, because otherwise it'll go crazy with it.
Sure. Well, I'm definitely going to sort of warmly thank Mangold for offering us this, even though he's senselessly wasted so much of it.
Hey, those carrots tasted good.
And I'll turn my attention to Steo now. I believe that Steo's a bit worse for wear and needs a bit of healing.
In bits.
Okay. Yeah. If you apply some water to the dust to Steo's wounds, he can also roll a d10.
Oh my God, lads! 3.
Hey,
those 100 applications might come in handy, guys.
You are banned from doing any healing-related activities. This is
that was your role, Christopher.
Yeah, it's his
mojo. I know. I know it's Mike. There's nothing we can do about it now. Just...
Whoa! It's not Mike. It's Anton.
Sure. Like a serial killer claiming it was the voices. So that's a lovely bit of healing. And while we're talking of healing, as I mentioned before we started role playing, we have some XP that's been spent. So Steo has spent 10 XP on getting Novice Medicus, and perhaps this could be a good opportunity for Steo to sort of examine the wounds, examine the good the Water of the Dusk has done, and rebind them. And if you want, you can use your Medicus now on yourself and Elle to.
Yeah, I might do that actually.
To do a bit of extra healing.
Okay.
Now we just get to all shit on Steel's bad healing for the you know. Now I've got
Thank
2
you.
people.
Is there anything about doing Medicus on yourself? Like any extra difficulty to it or anything
Not when
like
I
that?
was reading it prior to the show, but maybe we can get a rules call on that.
I don't know. I think if you're doing it like in a push on yourself, there should be penalties to the difficulty of it. But if you have kind of plenty of time to do it, I don't really see how it would.
It's not mentioned in the actual text, so I imagine it's just like you said.
I think it's fine. I think, especially in your current circumstance where you're a bit healed up, and it's like wounds that haven't been directly applied to you in the immediate past. I think that it's fine. I think you can make a roll for yourself and then a roll for Elle if you want.
Okay, here we go. 6. I succeed on myself.
Good. So give us
1d4.
that 4, right? Yeah.
3, which is about as good as the mystical goo that we took from the gardener.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just
you're basically the new Prios now.
Yeah, I mean that's a reasonable assumption.
Yeah, so I basically just kind of, now that things are a bit less gory down there, I just kind of like rebind
and clean
and kind of put a bit of reinforcement in as well. Like that'll hold me until we get back to
obviously,
at least.
It goes without saying when the Water of Dusk was applied to you, you felt a kind of odd warmth rushing through you as well, like stepping outside on a summer's day and feeling that first blush of the sun. And being as you're a man of faith, I think you might, or more so than Ephanea, who's this weird Ambrian god. But perhaps there is some effect of that to be had on you, like spiritually. Who knows? Steo's dead inside. So.
A little bit too dead for that. But I will remark, oh boy, that's the good stuff. I think that's the stuff they used to use on the officers. Oh, Effie, can I take a look at your bandages, see if I can make any good there?
Yeah, sure thing. I mean, obviously, I welcome any healing at this point, and I'll unwrap my bandages.
Nice.
Critical success.
Critical. What should we do with that? What should we do with that? Go on.
May I request that I just embarrass Anton just with the sheer artistry of my work?
As your critical, rather than have any practical effect, you just want Anton to feel bad.
Yeah.
Well, what I will actually say for it is John's made a good suggestion there. Just upgrade the die. So roll a d6 for it. I mean, Elle only has 2 points of toughness left to recover, but still.
Well, she just healed 6.
Hey.
Boom!
There we go. Ephanea, you feel more or less Writer's Reign now. Yeah, which is quite remarkable since you've you got
Almost cleaved in twain.
Carved up by an abomination yesterday. Only yesterday. I was about to do a terrible little song there, but I won't. So now that that's sorted, the noise of extremely inexpert carpentry is still going on outside the enclosure. So what is to be done about this? Blackhawk looks like he'll just take a lead from anyone. Obviously, Mangold doesn't seem to be a particularly violent creature. Cauldron, Tandrag. Cauldron still looks fairly annoyed, and he's kind of pacing away from the group, so doesn't seem to have any particular input right now. And Shugler just looks is still looking quite upset.
How big is Mangold?
About 9 foot.
So yeah, I might
9 foot tall.
I might go over to Mangold and just kind of like tap him. If he's not facing me, tap him wherever. If he is, just engage in conversation with him. And Mangold, I'd like to thank you for your gift to us. It's very much appreciated. It's helped me a lot. Now I know that you may not want to fight, and I understand that fighting isn't fun for anyone, but if you were, I think we need your help, and the problem is if these goblins get through the gate, the garden will be destroyed. Like, all of your hard work, the garden will be destroyed, they'll take all of the water, you'll never be able to grow again, so won't you please help us protect the garden?
He, just before you finished that, he kind of smiled a little gentle smile at you, put one massive hand on top of your head briefly, and then walks over to the garden and starts tending it.
Well, I tried.
Sam has pointed out in our Symbaroum that he is also missing 1 health. So I don't know what wants to be done about that.
Yeah, so I want to kind of okay.
I mean, would it be? This is the thing. Do we want to make your healing roll, or do we want to use the Water of the Dusk for a 1-pointer? What's the clever move?
So I'll go over. I want to kind of have a chat to Ascry anyway, and go look. Okay. How did it go out there in the field? I saw the fireworks. I've no idea what you did, but it was spectacular.
It went well at first, but we killed a few more goblins than we had intended.
Yeah, Shuglut's going to be in a bad way. I don't know if he's... I don't think any of you Northerners have seen this kind of thing before.
No, it's...
having a whole family killed in front of you is not something you get back from overnight.
They did not die good deaths as well. It was very unpleasant. But
what was the actual? You're not a poisoner, are you?
No, I took one of the arrows from the elves we encountered.
The elf arrows, are slippery bastards. Right.
Yeah,
do you have any more of them?
I only found the one, but I'm just.
Jeez.
I think we should be thankful none of us got hit by it. To be honest, it was at least the witch died in a very unpleasant death.
You didn't take any. You didn't take any hits or any gasps of that stuff, did you?
No, I think Shugblood nearly, but he seems okay.
Well, physically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to mention your small amount of damage that a goblin dealt you, though?
Yeah, I'll show my, I guess, arm. I got sliced up a bit, but nothing too serious.
Let me see if I can find some gauze. We'll patch that up. Might make the difference in whatever's coming next. God only knows. Give me 2 seconds. I want to talk to Effie. I'll be right back to you. So, Effie, I'm going to kind of see if I can grab your attention, kind of in no private sense, but kind of the armored demon sludge lady that nearly killed us both.
Yep, I remember her.
Do you remember how sick she looked And does it equate to how sick that elf brother looked before he went very weird?
Elf brother.
Not the elf. The apologies, not the elf. The
barbarian.
the other northerner lad from the forest.
So, I mean, obviously,
Matt,
I don't remember as much as I'd like to, considering I was mainly focused on escaping. But she did not look. She did not look well, but she didn't look human. Almost like that. It was almost like she'd risen from the grave, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
Can I make some rolls on this, Matt, to see if it looked like a similar affliction? Because you said that she was very unhealthy looking.
Yeah, you can roll cunning and on whether you think the two are linked. No adjustment, I think, just straight up cunning.
Cool. Oh yeah, not bad at all too.
Nice.
You've been around Thistlehold long enough to have seen various forms of corruption, and it's not exactly like they track on a one to, oh, this is corruption from doing this, and so on and so forth. But as it goes, they don't really look like that similar in terms of how they went. The only similarity you can see is that they both seem to have kind of running wounds that kind of didn't seem to be closing. But that's quite common as a mark of corruption anyway.
Okay. Well, it's probably nothing. I hope it's nothing. Oh, please pry us. Let it be nothing. Either way,
with the luck we've had, it's probably something.
Oh, don't. Look, the best we can do for now is hold out as long as possible. We'll talk tactics when the others get back here. Can I borrow some gauze? I think we had some left over from binding your wound. I'm going to see if I can fix Ascarai up a bit. He took a bash.
Yeah.
I'll go back to Ascarai and see if I can do the numbers on him.
Sure. Give me the roll for that.
Let me double check. That's a good. It's cunning, isn't it? Yeah, that is exactly my cunning score. So,
yeah, nice, good. Cool. Well, it's only one, so whatever you roll, it would deal with it anyway. So, Mike, you taking notes?
I've been replaced.
It's okay. You've still got you're going to turn into the damage character. You've got that ridiculous AOE mystical power, so it's all good. Okay, so time is passing. Is there any kind of plan that's going to be formulated, or is it a case of trying to fortify?
First thing, I would get my mask back, and then do planning.
Yeah, Tandrag gladly passes you your mask back.
So, he says,
I think we did say at the end of. Did we say? I think we said at the end of last. What was it? I think at the end of last session, did you say? I believe Steo had said he was going to go up to the rampart, up to the kind of watchtower bit. I think I'd said I was going to try and shore up the ground gates.
In my head, that was earlier in the session. That
could have been. I was very out of it last session.
But so. I think it was because I think you rolled for cunning and failed, and I think that was a fair bit earlier in the session. But people are welcome to try and do that again if they want. Currently,
obviously, I just want to try and the main point of entry is going to be the gates. So I want to try and fortify those as much. Although saying that, how will Melga get back in if the gates are?
Well, I mean, hopefully she's coming with help. But
I guess just fortify the gates is what FNA will do.
Sure.
Yeah. I think Anton's going to stash this very precious bottle somewhere inside with the rest of his gear, and then help FNA shore up the gates. Yeah, put some struts in to keep it closed. Yeah, just about anything you can do to be useful.
Yeah.
I'd like to continue sort of semi-guards duty, but I do want a word in the ear with Cauldra when there's a moment.
Sure, absolutely. So, who among you is working on the kind of like shoring up the gate? You two. Okay. Whoever has the higher cunning,
It won't be me.
make yourself a roll at +1.
Yeah, mine's literally 7, so imagine Phantom's forte.
I rolled 20.
You know what? I am never ever going to say I imagine that's Anton's forte.
Yeah, do
Again.
you know when you said? Do you know when you said whichever one of you has the higher cunning? Did you actually mean can both of you roll cunning? Just in case.
No. Just what you mean when I said one of you roll? Did I actually mean both of you? No. Yeah. Okay. So that's that's interesting.
The best defense is no defense.
If we take
The best defense is a worthless priest.
Yeah, why not do this? You're basically, as you're kind of like putting together the, trying to find some woods to shore it up, you kind of get a large length of wood from like the roof of the stables, and like Effenair, who's mostly doing the actual physical labor of putting it into place, and you're kind of trying to shore it up against the slightly slippy kind of underfoot of the mud. And as you do this, you kind of both heave it into place, and at that very moment, the gates rattle as if something large has impacted directly into where the two gates meet. And outside, you hear a chillingly familiar voice call out, "Again, you wretches!" Tandrag kind of goes, "Ladders, and a ram!" He's up on the gatehouse.
Oh no.
Guess we're out of time.
Players are so excited by this drama.
Guess we're out of time.
Could we switch to initiative, please?
Absolutely. Mine's 13 as always.
Yeah, John will have the relative initiatives. It'll be the same as last time. Only now we have a new person to add, John. We have Nightblade to add in at an initiative of 11.
No, I don't like her. No.
If she's equal to a player, the player goes first. There we go.
I'm really glad she's going directly after me when I'm like a melee fighter, which definitely doesn't mean she'll be attacking me.
So, Askarai, first of all, where are you when this happens? Where do you think you will be?
Well, what I wanted to do was scour for any usable arrows before this happened.
Well, I think it's fine for you to give me a vigilant roll to represent what you've done before this sudden calamity that was somehow brought on by the priest not shoring up the gate properly. Which doesn't really work, but I like the idea that a botch just, something bad happens. Yeah, give me a vigilant roll.
Okay, I rolled a 2, so
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what? Roll yourself a d4.
Okay.
You know what? A d6 to try and find usable arrows, both any that have been left around, and also maybe the arrows of the goblins when they sent the kind of initial barrage of arrows over the walls that alerted you.
I also got a 2 on my d6, but still, I'll take that. I feel like I'm going to need all the arrows I can get at this point.
Hey, the old saying, 2 arrows is better than 1.5 arrows.
Very true. Very true. Wise words.
The old sayings are the truest ones.
So I think I'd probably be kind of outside the building, but like getting arrows off the floor around wherever I could see them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the question is, do I try and run inside the building to go back to the old vantage point, or get up on the wall? I think inside was working well last time, so I'm going to head inside, try and get up to the upper floor and get to my vantage point.
Sure, sounds good. So yeah, you can do that. You can kind of scramble up the stairs and sort of into that room, and you can kind of ready yourself. It'll take all your action to do that.
Okay.
Kind of two moves to do that. So, but you are now in the window, ready with your bow. So next we've got the goblins. So who wants to roll for the gate? I think Anton should roll for the gate.
I think Steo should do the rolling for the gate.
Well, Anton is a gate expert. Obviously, next session, Steo will have bought the ability to be the gate expert. So, but yeah, just give me a D. I'm looking for a D20 roll, and I just want you to tell me the result of the D20 roll.
17.
Okay.
And Tom should be the gate man.
No, that's fine.
I didn't roll a 20. Fine. That's an improvement of 3.
The gate continues to shake under the goblin's assault. Ephenea, what are you doing?
So they haven't made it through at all, have they?
The gate is not yet broken, but it is rattling in its frame.
Yeah. So there's kind of there isn't any way like currently that we think that we can actually prevent it from being battered open, do we?
I guess you could dive over the walls and try and attack them on foot out there after taking a 20-foot drop. No, I guess you could throw things at them or fire things at them because you doubt they've got like a cover on top of the ram. But beyond that,
no.
There's no way to strike them with your weapon. So
I don't have like a bow or anything like that. So honestly, this time I am literally just going to try and get myself to like the best vantage point for when they come through the gate.
Sure.
Kind of, I mean, potentially like to the side, so I won't be right in there. Kind of like so like say they're coming through the gate here, I'd be like at the side, so they can't see me when they first come through. They might like go for someone else, and I can just try and like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tandrak did also mention a ladder. I feel it would be prudent to remind everyone.
Yeah.
So,
but you can still stand in position to like strike whoever comes through the gate quickly. Like that's absolutely fine. I wanted to reiterate it in case people had forgotten it.
To be honest, I don't think that Ephenea wants to kind of fight against Nightblade quite so readily. She'd rather remain where everyone else is for now, because
that's fine.
She does not like Nightblade. Also, she enters Berserker Rage because she
that's great.
That's
fine
because that's what she does. That is what she does.
Absolutely. And being it was your turn, do you want to roll for the gate? So give me a D20 roll. Give me a D20 roll, please, and tell me the result.
10.
Okay.
I'm entirely average.
The gate rattles hard again in its frame, and you can see basically a split starting, a large split in all the planking where the two halves of the gate come together. It is definitely not holding. So on that, Steo.
So I was on guard duty, so I am ladder scouting.
Sure.
I also kind of would like to know what's the disposition of the goblin forces. Are they bringing torches and fire, Do they seem to have organized archers ready, or what are we looking at here?
So you, with your movement, you can get on top of the gatehouse and look.
I was
out
already
to
up
this.
there. I was doing guard duty.
Oh, fair
Yeah.
enough then. Then yes, you can see that essentially. You would say that there are 11 goblins carrying the battering ram, which is little more than a roughly carved, slightly hacked away tree trunk, which they're heaving repeatedly into the gate. Nightblade is stood at the back of them, kind of half crouched over, and one hand is holding her dark blade, and the other one is on the back of the ram, heaving it forward with them. There are another 4 goblins who are right now putting a ladder up against the gatehouse. 2 of them are on the bottom, kind of holding it in bodily with their weight, and the other 2 are quite quickly scampering up. There will be 1 goblin on the gatehouse next round.
Okay, I would love, if at all possible, to try and take an action against that ladder. Either
you can absolutely try to take an action against the ladder.
My options, I suppose, are shoving it away or just attempting to halberd it so it breaks. I imagine it's no sturdier than their previous attempts.
It's quite a bit sturdier. The last one really was a crappy ladder. This one is actually a bit more well formed, but it's up to you. It's up to you how you want to try and do it.
Do I fancy my strength check against 2 goblins and gravity, or do I fancy? I fancy seeing if I can just shove it away. I'm feeling good.
Give me a strength check at a -4, please.
So I take 4 points away from the dice roll. No, I add
you
4
take
points.
4. You take 4 points away from your stat.
Okay, so that's bad. Obviously, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. 9's the number. Dearest internet, wish me luck. Oh, hello, friends.
Nice.
Doing good tonight.
You definitely don't heave the ladder off, but you kind of have it out at arm's length. You've had to kind of like stand your halberd by the side, but you're kind of holding it out now, and you're in a bit of a back and forth pushing match with the goblins. So, yes.
Okay. So that'll delay them a little bit anyway.
It will delay. The goblin that's climbing it can't get on the gatehouse next turn, but he might be able to get to you.
And I don't have my halberd, so I don't get a free long action when he comes in. Look, That's my action. I've done my best.
Sure.
Good luck, everyone else.
Sure. Good luck, everyone. Anton.
Okay, I'm gonna cast my Blessed Shield, mystical power. Get some protection, I think.
Sure.
So, but I say that I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and do that. Hey,
well, I was tempted to make that kind of comment, but I thought, no, I'll be nice.
Well, I mean, like, he forgot the spell entirely last session, so
yeah,
it's come back now.
Good start.
Wait, did I say you couldn't use it for the rest of the day? Because you fumbled on it? Was that a thing?
No.
It must be past midnight.
The rest of the section. Oh, yeah, but that was before. That was also after midnight.
God.
You know what? Let's just say it was for the rest of the session. That's fine.
Okay.
You can do it.
Okay. Well, I make it. So
hey. There we go. So you now have some mystical armors, right?
Yeah. So I get like a additional 1d4 of armor.
Great. Okay. To anyone watching, basically that kind of the air directly around Anton starts to kind of glint and shine kind of oddly, like, you know, when you catch like the reflected rays of the sun out the corner of your eye, you kind of get that, but when you look at him directly, it doesn't. You can't see anything, almost like a trick of the light. I'm assuming, Anton, you have some kind of preparation you do for this, like a prayer or.
So I've got like a sort of a copper pendant that like I sort of clasp in my hand while I do this, and mutter a few prayers and words to Prios, and And I guess, is that my only action for the turn, or am I able to do something else?
You can take a movement action as well.
Yeah, I will move. Well, can I see where this ladder is?
I mean, you can't see it because you're on the ground, but you are aware that there is a ladder up there because Tandrag shouted, and also Steo seems to be kind of like fumbling with something on the edge of the palisade, which may or may not be the ladder.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll head over in that general direction towards Steo on the watchtower, and sort of make my way over there to maybe offer some assistance.
Absolutely. Okay. Yes, you can make your way up to the gatehouse. And then we go back round. So, Askarai, what are you doing?
Save us.
Presumably I can't see any goblins, or can I?
You can kind of see the goblin on top of the ladder that seems to be, sort of half wrestling with Steo and half trying to, like, go over the top of it. It's a tricksy shot, and it's definitely not one you'd want to make badly because Steo is right there.
Okay.
But you can absolutely try.
I feel like I'd be confident. I wouldn't miss, would I?
God. Oh, God.
Why would you miss? You can try and make that shot if you want.
Just quickly, can I see any other ladders trying to go up, or do I only see this one?
You can definitely only see that one.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take the shot. Why not?
Okay.
Nothing better to do.
Give me a shot at a -4, please.
Okay. Do I still? Is that a -4 overall, or is that like because they give some kind of plus as well, don't they, for being?
Oh yeah. They do actually give a plus. So make a vigilant roll at +5 then. Yeah.
Okay. Also, we didn't do this last time, but I'm up higher. Do I get an advantage?
Yeah, you do. Yes, because we looked up the rules for range stuff, didn't we? Yeah, you get an advantage.
Okay.
So that's another +2. So make the roll at a +7. So it's a really tricky roll that you're guaranteed to hit. And you also get an extra something on the damage roll.
I think a D4.
D4?
I think.
D4? Anyone? D4? Let me have a look at my cheat sheet. Advantage. Advantage. Plus D4. And you didn't hit with a 20 or anything, did you?
No.
Okay, so give me your damage roll, please.
Oh my god, I rolled 2 1s.
Okay, so so Chris just has to breathe, calm himself down. Your arrow, you think it clips the goblin, but you can't be sure from your vantage point. Steo, from where you are, an arrow whistles past your shoulder and just basically slices slightly through the back of the goblin's neck. The goblin is maybe less raving than before, but still pretty gone and doesn't really seem to notice it. Yeah.
That was a bad roll.
Wasn't great.
At least it wasn't a roll to accidentally hit Steo. So.
No, that would have been unfortunate, in a way. So it's the goblins next. Askarai, do you want to make the roll for the gate, please?
Okay. I rolled a 4.
You rolled a 4. Oof. The gate is holding for now, but it cannot be long before it bursts open. Ephanea.
That is me. All right, so let's see. Estimate that it's about probably about a turn until the gate opens. And FNA has like, well, there's be no point in trying to like move to the outside of the gate, would there, at this point, since it's going to give way.
It's
anyway.
not. It's definitely not long for. It's going to
Yeah.
go to its gate-related reward. Yes.
Could I, with my action, shout for Cauldra to let me out? Because obviously, like, the gate's going to probably come crashing down soon anyway. So
you think if you open the gate,
that's fine.
Like throw them off.
Well, I mean, the thing is, next
I don't
turn
think it's necessarily a bad idea. I mean, the gate will definitely not hold much longer. Yeah.
And the thing is, as well, like with this system and just kind of with roleplay as well, like if the gate came down, there could be like damage, like from kind of that. So I figure we might as well at this point. Those of us who are melee combat based can't do a thing, so we're just sitting here waiting for our doom.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, say, look, they're not holding. Let's just.
Cauldra is kind of stood near you with like her bow drawn, but Tandrag is on top of the gatehouse with Steo. Do you want to call to him? Because that's where the gate would be opened from.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna Tandrag. I know it may seem counterintuitive, but open the gates. They're about to fall anyway. We may as well take them by surprise.
Okay. Do you want to give me a persuade roll at
-15?
No, you know what? The only reason I'm giving you a minus is because it's on the surface an odd suggestion, but also he's pretty stressed. He's no warrior. So he'd be quite likely to take an odd order, but it is still an odd order. So a -1.
Okie dokie. Let's see how this goes. I have a low persuasion.
And it's worth remembering, folks. I just want to remind you of our rule that we took on board last session. Rerolls for experience.
Yeah. Got 6, and I needed an 8.
Nice. Tandrag kind of looks around and goes, "Oh no, all right," and dives over to the gate mechanism and heaves down on it. The gate swings open very fast. The battering ram kind of crashes into the ground alongside most of the goblins who are kind of left sprawling on the floor. Nightblade doesn't quite kind of fall herself and kind of rights herself fairly swiftly and kind of leaps forward onto the surface of the now kind of grounded battering ram and dashes across it, screeching wildly and kind of hefting her blade up, which is now kind of erupting again in that dark fire that it had when she emerged from the trees last session. She obviously looks much the same, very unhealthy, glowing red eyes, open, weeping sores visible on her neck, and clad head to foot in kind of flaking, dark painted chainmail.
All right, so yeah, I haven't used that was just because I was just shouting to Tandrag.
I mean, that's for free, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So I figure that she's obviously the most dangerous of all of them. So if there's a lot of space between us, I'll use my movement trying to get as close as I can to her. Battle axe drawn, yelling all the way like evil Santa, and you
can charge her and attack.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, give me your attack roll, please, which will be at her defense is flat, so
just
a standard
flat attack roll. Right. Come on out.
Which is accurate for you, I think, right? Or is it strong?
It's strong for me.
Oh, strong.
1.
Nice. So, do you want to get? Is it a choice between another immediate attack or knocking her prone?
I'm gonna immediate attack.
Sure. So you kind of scream in barbaric, rage-fueled hatred, and flail at her repeatedly with your axe. Okay, well, give us a damage roll for the first hit, please.
Okay, I'm just get my multitude of dice and hopefully roll okay with them. I like doing it one by one just to build the suspense.
Sure.
My D12 I rolled a 4. My D4 I rolled a 3. And my D6 was a 6. So 13 for my first.
13 damage.
For my first attack.
Oh, God, please, pain threshold.
And for my second attack, 10 on my D12. That.
Hang on, second attack?
Yeah, I didn't say an immediate attack.
You have to roll to hit first.
Oh, roll to hit. Well, then I'll roll a hit.
But give me a second. I still have to calculate everything. So,
Sorry.
Did you say you do 13 damage?
13, yeah.
This may be anticlimactic, folks.
I just wasted a 10. I'm so
Okay.
sorry. All right.
So,
I will,
hang on. She's passed her pain threshold.
oh.
So, I believe
get
that
knocked
is that literally the same thing again. Like knocked. Is it? It's yeah. It's. I think it's the same thing. Either knocked down or suffers an additional free attack. Oh no! Hang on. So you rolled a 1, right?
Yeah.
On an attack.
So that just knocked it
It's
down.
actually not an extra free attack. It's a plus D6 to your damage.
Okay, so I will roll another d6 for that. Then that attack that I just did previously, right?
Sure. Yeah.
One
One you did 9 damage on.
5.
Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Nightblade charges forward wildly, and with one swing of your axe, her head comes off.
Sorry?
You've killed her. You killed the big boss of the story.
Oh no.
Balance on some of these stories is amazing. Yeah.
What happens to the goblins?
Well, I mean, they're. I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting this.
Out of just out
my
of curiosity,
God.
how much health did she have then?
I'm not telling you that. I mean, but you can calculate it roughly. Yeah.
I think FNA's just stood there like speechless because this like being like almost killed her last session, and this in one fell swoop, she just beheaded it.
God, I should have lied. So Nightblade comes charging forward, full of fury and rage, and you basically see her coming, and it's like kind of tunnel vision. You just realize that you have to swing in a certain way. You have to meet her charge, and her body kind of spins past you on the ground, spraying not entirely healthily looking blood over the floor.
So she's dead. Are the goblins still attacking? Sorry.
I mean, they're picking themselves up off the floor, so you can't really tell right now.
So, I mean, am I like completely done for that turn now, or like?
No, do you want a few more attacks, or you didn't do much?
Would I be able to say something? Is what I'm asking.
I mean, you've already
Only if
said.
it's a
I mean,
pun.
technically, there's unlimited things you can say, but that means you can have infinite time. I'd say you're done. I'd say you're probably done, if that's okay.
Fuck off, Elle. You've done enough already.
He's done enough to ruin this session.
You see, this is the thing, because I'm basically, although it's heavily tweaked, but I am running like a thing from the book, and I'm starting to realize I may need to adjust some of the stats on these enemies in this, because it's a bit wonky. It's a bit wonky. Okay, so who goes next?
Nightblade, I suppose.
Nightblade.
Steo, what are you doing? The goblins on the ladder don't seem. I mean, they won't have seen what's happened anyway. You won't have seen what's happened, and they don't seem to be giving up the fight anytime soon.
Cool. So, this one that's about to be able to make an attack on me, that took the arrow to the neck but survived. I might dagger him. I think I'll dagger him. I got my little dagger. It's small. It's free to draw. It's a backup weapon.
So you're essentially not going to continue trying to tip the ladder. You're kind of giving up that struggle.
Sorry, I thought so. Okay, so I can keep up the struggle. This guy might get an attack on me. Although I have been inspired, so maybe what I'd like to do is
you have no idea what's happened behind you.
Oh no, but like I had an idea that someone called for the gates to be open. And that's what's inspired me. So I think what I'm going to do is suddenly reverse my pull and try and catapult the goblin off the ladder this way, kind of like grab him and kind of hoik him up. If this is entirely impossible, let me know. But
Sorry, so you're trying to pull the goblin off the ladder?
Yeah, so right now I'm pushing, and so are the goblins.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch to pull and attempt to destabilize him suddenly.
Okay. What? So he falls off? You mean
so maybe
bang it and hopefully he'll fall.
That's kind of the idea, and like maybe using the goal is to get him off the ladder. So switching to pull and maybe kind of throwing a punch or something.
You're not like knocking the ladder over, but you're trying to at least dislodge this top goblin.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a strength roll. Just flat strength.
Oh yeah, we did it. 4. I'm rolling good tonight.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to say you basically kind of almost let go of the ladder and let it come back to you, and then like kind of rattle it as it impacts on the palisade, and the top goblin kind of spills off and crashes to the ground below. You're not entirely sure what state they're in, but probably not healthy. But other than that. Are you going to take any movement action or kind of staying where you are?
Okay, so I've got a movement action after that. I'm going to use that movement action to switch back to the halberd and to put my full attention on what's coming next.
And kind of take a couple of steps back and brace yourself for attack. Great. Yeah, sure. Okay, Anton, you've seen what's happened down at the gate, obviously.
So I think after I've like kind of picked my jaw up off the floor, I will make a move for one of the goblins that's nearest to me with my flail.
Sure.
And I think that you mentioned that the goblins are prone,
yes, they are. They are currently prone. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to flail a goblin.
Sounds good. So I believe you get an advantage because it's prone. So you get a +2 to your roll. So you have a +11 to hit because these goblins are. Yeah, not great. So it's only if you roll a 20 that we need to be worried.
I didn't.
Brace yourselves for a Mike's 20. Okay, give me a...
There's a suggestion in the chat that Mike should attempt to heal Nightblade. Then we can...
She's had enough damage already.
She's suffered enough.
Yeah. So give me a... give me a damage roll with a +2 on it. No, the +2 is to hit. A damage roll with a +d4.
So two damage rolls then.
If your normal damage roll is d4, then yes.
So it's a d. My normal damage roll is a d8.
Right. So roll a d8 and roll a d4 and add up there.
Okay. Okay. Great. So I rolled 10 in total.
Okay. And they have that thing. The goblin that you've kind of thrashed into on the ground with the flail. You've hurt him pretty badly, but he's still kind of slowly trying to clamber up from the mud on the ground. Askarai, back to you again. You have seen what Ephanea has done.
I'm also picking my jaw off the floor. I guess I still can't really tell whether these goblins are gonna get up and fight or get up and run away. What's happened with the one on the ladder? Is he still?
The one on the very top of the ladder, Chris has kind of shaken him off, and he's plummeted to the ground.
I think I would hold my shot because I've already needlessly killed plenty of goblins. I'm going to give Shugblood's tribe a chance and wait to see what they do.
Sure, sounds good.
I told you your sins.
Yeah. So nothing else, just kind of leaving it for now.
Yeah.
You are at the front of the queue, right? So you can actually delay your action. So do you want to delay it until after the goblins?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll delay until after the goblins.
Okay.
I might also shout out just a general shout of yeah, seeing the head get chopped off.
Okay, so it is the goblins, and they are going to all. They have to actually spend their action clambering to their feet. So they all clamber to their feet, and it's not like they have one uniform reaction, and you can't exactly tell what they're going to do next. But their main attitude is gazing into the gate and doing this. So they seem quite taken aback by the death of Nightblade. So yeah, Ephenea.
So I'm still on my Berserker Rage, and so I'm very hopped up about the fact that I just decapitated Nightblade, and as far as I'm concerned, everything else on the field is an enemy right now because it was attacking us, and I'm a big dumb Berserker. So
Sure.
I'm just going to attack the goblin nearest to me.
Okay. As you kind of dash forward, you do hear a voice behind you shouting, "No, stop! They won't fight!" Through the haze, you can recognize as Shuglad's voice. Doesn't mean you have to do it. Although, if you're struggling to come up with your action, we could have you make a roll.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer to make a roll because I don't know. I can imagine, she will hear it, but she is. Again, I feel like I'm in a rage.
Sure. Do you want to make a roll of your resolute against his persuade?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. So that will be your resolute plus 5.
My resolute plus 5.
So you're probably hacking up these goblins.
I got a 1.
Yeah, you don't even register it. You're just barreling forwards. Okay, make an attack against the nearest goblin.
Oh God, the poor creature.
I'm so sorry, guys. All right.
It's at plus 9.
So I'm definitely hitting. Right, I got a 6. Yep, that's fine.
Okay. We can't just for notice of Askarai. Once the initiative is established, it can't be changed. Yeah, so once we're past the first turn, you can't. So it's fine.
Yeah. Right. Where did I put those dice from last time?
The abomination in one shot killing dice.
The death dice. Yeah. I genuinely, I feel like I've just lost them. So maybe they were a one-off.
They weren't real. It was an illusion.
A blessing from
It was a trick. Where the heck? Right. Okay. Cool. D4, D6, D12. Let's do this.
Oh my God.
3, 6, 9.
9 damage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You basically have grievously wounded kind of a goblin alongside the one Anton was flailing at, and kind of buried your axe quite deeply into its arm, and it's kind of reeling back. Yeah. Not looking very happy about the situation. I mean, they do have their weapons out, so sure. Okay. I guess it's Nightblade's turn. So, I think only Ascarai will be able to see this.
Uh-oh.
I don't like it.
He's thought of something.
Ascarai, you see kind of movement in the center of the enclosure out the corner of your eye, and as you kind of turn and look, the body of Nightblade is slowly clambering to its feet without its head.
Oh God! Can it see anything?
Well, if I have an opportunity to, I will shout very loudly. And just point, Nightblade! She's getting up!
Can you give me a resolute roll, please, Ascarai, at -5?
So you don't just run away screaming.
Resolute. Okay, not too bad. I have a chance. 9. I don't make it.
Okay. Yeah, you're pretty shaken by this. So let's just remember that when it gets to your turn, shall we?
Yep.
Steo. Yeah. What was it you shouted again, Ascarai?
I shouted, Nightblade, she's getting up.
Okay. Steo, I mean, you haven't seen her drop anyway, so the goblins on the ladder. I should have pointed out what the goblins on the ladder are doing. They're just carrying on because they don't know anything's up.
Yeah.
And the top one is up enough for you to get your free attack against it.
So here's the thing, though. I've just heard someone inside the compound say that Nightblade was down and is now getting back up, which leads me, I'm giving you the reasoning, that leads me to assume that we've lost the defense and I should abandon the wall.
Okay. Do you want to take your free attack before you retreat?
I'm
perfectly fine with you doing that.
Yeah, I think I will, but I also want to tell there's another guy on top of the wall. I want to get him to abandon. Yeah, I want to get Tandrag to abandon as well.
Shout that out. It's no problem.
Tandrag, abandon the wall!
You want to make your free attack against this goblin that's clambering up?
Yep. A 6. That's a success.
Nice.
Oh no! Wait, hang on. Didn't I hear Shuglud saying they won't fight if she's down?
He was calling that an F and A. I'm not sure you'll have heard that clearly over the
Let's mush a goblin.
So yeah, give me your damage roll.
I will. 9.
Nice.
Okay. You get a good cut in on that goblin. You're fairly sure you've wounded them fairly deeply, but there's no time to kind of register exactly how much if you're kind of grabbing Tandrag and kind of scrambling down off the gatehouse as quickly as you can. As you're doing so, you can take in the entire scene, which does feature a decapitated Nightblade kind of rearing up from the ground, sword once again in her grasp, as black blood kind of pulses out and flows down the front of her blackened armor.
I fought in the Great War, and I have seen shit like this. So unless there is a specific supernatural effect that's going to befuddle me, I am going to take my movement action to enter combat with that thing, and I'm going to make an attack against that thing.
I'm afraid your movement action was getting down off the gate.
Okay, fair enough. That's my next. I am ready to charge as soon as our turn-based system will let me.
Absolutely. So we are on to Anton. Anton, you heard Ascarai shout, but that's about it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear what he shouted. I just heard him shout.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you did hear him, but you haven't yet perceived what's going on.
Okay, well, I'm going to take a look at Nightblade, or what was Nightblade. And I guess I'm gonna stepping a little bit out of character here for just a second, but do I think that Nightblade is an abomination or undead at this point? Because okay, well in that case
Absolutely, you do, yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna do my holy aura thing, so to create that damaging sort of field that engulfs abominations and undead. So
are you going to use your movement to kind of get away from this big crowd of goblins?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Dash in, flail, run. Flail and run. Good old flail and run.
Very much running away here. Yeah. So let's see if I do the roll. Oh God, I got it absolutely spot on. 13.
Nice.
So how much damage does that cause?
It does 1d6 of damage, ignoring armor.
And I'm right in saying you have to focus and maintain this, right? So it'll happen every turn as long as you're doing nothing else.
That's right, yeah. So I am out of there.
Where do you think you'll have scrambled to? Maybe the cover of the stables or something like that?
Yeah, the stables or just the kind of direct opposite, heading towards the direct opposite side of the keep.
She's definitely over on the shrine side rather than the stable side. Could we have the map a second, John? So further away from Nightblade is indeed the stable side.
Okay, I'm going to the stables.
So obviously contradict me if I'm if I'm speaking for you here. Yeah, so number 3 there is the stables, and she's kind of moved. She's kind of over further near the shrine, which is number 5. So any of you looking can see kind of Anton maybe down on one knee, grasping his copper pendant and desperately muttering imprecations to Prios under his breath. And kind of parts of Nightblade's armor start kind of flaking and coming off in a kind of odd heat haze. An invisible, unfeelable to you heat haze washes over her. Sorry, how much did you get on the damage roll there?
4.
That's great, thank you. So, Askarai, what are you going to do? Bearing in mind you are very unnerved at watching this happen. Like, it's one thing to turn around and she's up, but it's an entire other thing to see the corpse peel itself off the floor in such a way.
Yeah. I think Askarai would assume she's just been decapitated. Like, an arrow is not going to... Like, what's an arrow going to do? She's literally had her head chopped off and she's still fine.
Sure.
So I think he would think his best bet is to shoot at goblins again, because, like, what is an arrow? He just doesn't think an arrow is going to achieve anything.
Sure.
And he thinks the goblins are going to keep fighting now. So he's going to try and shoot a goblin, although I'm expecting some kind of penalty because he has just seen a person rise from the dead.
Sure, absolutely. So give me just a normal goblin roll at +9. One of the ones kind of near the front of the battering ram?
Yeah, one of the ones at the front by the gate, basically.
Sure.
Like they're about to come in soon. I definitely make it.
Okay, give me that damage roll.
Okay. I got a 10.
Okay. One of the goblins goes down with an arrow in its chest. One down. So it's the goblin's turn. And what are the goblins going to do? I think the goblins are literally going to break. They've had enough. Wildshoe is wearing off. They've just seen their leader be decapitated and then get back up as a horrific abomination. That, like, one of their tribe has just dropped with an arrow to them. A couple of the others have taken a couple of blows. The ladder seems to be going nowhere. They're just going to break, and you can see the remnants of the Varaguldru tribe sort of dash off into the early light of dawn, just off kind of over the field and away as fast as their legs will take them.
Yes.
Yeah. Ephanea.
Yes.
The creature that was Nightblade turns at you and from kind of the bleeding stump where her head was, a horrific, unearthly howling starts. Can you roll Resolute at a -5, please?
Yikes. Yeah, no. 17.
Okay, you cannot attack her this turn.
Okay. Can I see where her head is?
Yeah, it's just lying on the ground quite near you. It doesn't seem animated in any way.
All right. So
It's not like doing a kind of zombie thing or anything.
yeah. So attacking the head wouldn't. Would FNA? I assume like yeah.
hitting the head, I think would count as fighting Nightblade.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean? So you don't want anything to do with Nightblade. Your
That case, I'll just remain kind of frozen.
To ice.
Yeah, frozen in place for the for this turn.
Sure. So you're not moving. You're just kind of standing your ground and kind of holding ground.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just kind of like, what?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, it is Nightblade's turn. The whatever was Nightblade is taking a couple of quick steps towards Ephenea and attacking.
Mm-hmm.
So, could you roll your defense, please, which I know is already pretty bad.
Yep.
And could you roll it at a -5? So
yes, I can. 4.
Yeah.
No,
Hang on, is this your defense as adjusted for Berserker?
yes. No. Oh wait.
That's
So
a
as
5,
adjusted
isn't
for
it?
Berserker is a 5. So yeah. Well, either way, I got 17. So.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I retract my previous yes.
Yes, quite. Can you give me an armor roll, please?
I can indeed. 5.
5. Okay. The creature flails at you with its burning blade, and it doesn't actually cut you, but the wash of the black flame over your kind of face and shoulders, you can feel your skin blister and start to peel as it comes that far away from just cutting straight into your face. Take 3 toughness, please.
Jeez, oh. There we go.
Yes. So, Steo.
The abomination is in combat with Effie, and therefore I will use my movement to get into a flanking position and have at it.
Sure.
If I can.
Yes, you absolutely can. So give me a roll with advantage. So +2 to the roll. So yeah, it will just straight up be a roll. It will be a roll at +2.
Cool. I did it. I got a 5.
Nice. So give yourself an extra D4 for the flanking damage.
Yep.
And give me what damage you've dealt.
Oh my god. 3 on the D10 and 4 on the D4. So 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
A valiant attempt.
You punch through, your halberd kind of punches through the fortified chainmail at the back. And definitely, if this was a living creature, you'd be fairly sure you've done some serious damage. But whatever it is doesn't really seem to be slowed by it at all.
Damn it. Gonna keep at it,
Absolutely. But first, Anton. Do you need? I think you need to make a resolute roll every turn, right, to carry on.
That's right. Yeah.
If that's what you want, of course, you can.
Yeah, that's absolutely what I want to do.
I think it's definitely it's very powerful. The way it ignores armor, which is a real big help.
Yeah. So I make it.
Nice.
Okay. So give us a D6 on that. Was it a D6 on the damage?
Yeah. 5.
Great.
Nice.
The two of you who are closest, Ephenea and Steo, Mafluffle, can now see basically you can see like the hands of the creature that was Nightblade are kind of the surface of the skin again. This odd heat haze over it, and its bits of flesh are kind of peeling and slightly floating away in the heat. And it generally seems to be almost kind of disintegrating. And the wailing noise coming from its the violently awful wound across its neck and shoulders is reaching a higher pitch. Ascarai.
Well, with the goblins running, I feel like
Sorry. No. Sorry. I remembered that something was happening at the end of that cycle, and I should go ahead with it now. The creature that was Nightblade kind of takes a slight step back away from Steo and Ephenea, and with one great overhead swing kind of slams its sword into the ground, and in a great wave around it, the same black fire that wraps the blade starts to burst out of the ground and sends basically everyone who's standing on any kind of surface just sprawling straight to the floor. So that's everyone. And I think being in the inn doesn't, the entire inn shakes and black flames kind of lick up the wall by the window. So I think you would also kind of rear back and fall down. So everyone is prone. So there we go. If everyone could make a vigilant roll, please. I'd say it's a -3. I think you're not exactly in a great state to be observing anything.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't count as disengaging, John. No, it's
nope, didn't make it.
Nope, also fail.
Fail.
I made it.
Of course you did. As you kind of start clambering up from the ground, you can see that several things around the enclosure are on fire. The stables are a little bit. You can see that maybe the thatch on the roof of the inn is setting off, and also a few plants in Mangold's garden are aflame. Now, it normally takes an entire action to get back up, but you can, I believe, make a quick roll to try and get up in one action. I do believe, if I can take a look, or is that a special ability that I've seen? Anyone got any immediate notes? Standing up costs 2 actions unless a quick test is passed. So yeah.
Okay. I'll attempt a quick test, I guess.
Sure.
Where's my quick? Okay. I do not make it.
Okay. Yeah, you basically all you've had time to do is kind of clamber to your feet and register the things are on fire.
Does the fire look like a normal fire, or does it look?
Fire looks like a normal fire. Yeah.
Okay.
The odd spookiness of it just seemed to be contained to the wave that passed over everything.
Okay.
So the goblins are no longer a factor. Ephenea.
Okay. I'm going to make the quick test, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
9. My quick is 13.
So you can clamber back to your feet, and you do get an action.
So like I can attack?
You can attack.
Okay, cool. I am going to obviously just kind of charge towards the undead body and kind of try to like hack it again into. I'm just going to keep smaller and smaller pieces, you know.
Haven't you seen The Sorcerer's Apprentice?
It's just a flat attack roll.
Just a flat attack roll. All right, cool. Please hit. I really need you to hit. It hits.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Damage roll. Please do good. I need you to do good. Where is my 12? Why do I keep misplacing these magical dice? There we go. All right. So
Can I make a bit of a ruling here that you might not like?
Hmm.
I don't think you're in your berserker rage anymore. I think you were knocked out of it when you were intimidated into not.
No, absolutely. So I'll get rid of one
right?
dice.
I think that makes sense narratively.
Yeah, I believe I completely agree.
I'm not just trying to keep the boss alive. I mean, I'm honestly not. It's fine.
No, I mean I still get 2 dice, so
Yeah.
even without my berserker rage, so I'm fine with it. All right, I think it gives me D6, so I'll get rid of my D6. So my D4 does 1 damage, and my D12 I've done 5, so I've hit her for 6.
6. Okay. You kind of desperately stumble to your feet, swing your axe, and it scores a deep line across the chainmail and kind of breaks it open. And you can see that whatever the thing is that's afflicting its kind of hands is also afflicting its chest as bits are just kind of flying off it. But it certainly seems to have just enough life left in it to kind of, as you stumble forward, it raises its flaming blade for one last strike to come crashing down on you. And then, quicker than you can really perceive, Nightblade just is dragged out of your field of view. And you kind of turn around to see Mangold hefting Nightblade off the floor with one leg and just takes the creature that rose from the dead body of Nightblade, turns around and slams it full force, holding it by the leg directly into the palisade, and the body breaks open and pieces fly all over the enclosure out of the front, and Mangold is just left there holding the remnants of one armored leg, which he hefts into the air, which flies off over the palisade and into the south field before dashing swiftly over to his garden and desperately tramping on the plants that are aflame until they're put out.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we can safely go out of combat.
Yeah.
Fire!
Yeah.
Get pails, get buckets.
There isn't that much, like there's some thatch aflame and some of the stables are quite bad, but it hasn't hit the palisades yet. Does everyone want to make a? I mean, the course of action is clear. There's a big spring with a load of buckets near it. Like, does everyone want to make a quick roll, please? And just a flat quick roll, and let me know. Let's see how many people have made it.
I made it.
I botched.
I made it.
My bucket's full of fire.
On the fire!
I just made it.
Yeah, 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4?
Made it. I mean, like 3.
Sorry. Yeah. I thought you were like, I rolled 3 out of 4. What?
I rolled 3 out of 4.
Okay. Yeah, everyone dashes and grabs buckets, everyone, and starts heaving it over there. The roof of the inn is a little harder to reach, but it doesn't seem as bad anyway. Stio, can you roll a d4 for me, please? 2. You get a bit too close to the flames in the stable and roast your arm, not inconsiderably, for 2 points of damage.
Prius's neck. God damn it.
So, there you are. Coldra and Tandrag kind of have gathered their children to them and are kind of holding them tightly in the center of the enclosure. Blackhawk just looks kind of exhausted. You're not entirely sure what he was doing in all of that, but at least he didn't wander into Nightblade's sword. So that's got to be a plus. Mangold is tending his garden. There's no sign of Shuglad.
I'd like to call out for him. Shuglad!
No response.
God damn it. At least he just... Like, I don't find his body or anything, do I?
No.
Okay. Look, best outcome considering.
Hopefully, he just went with his tribe.
Yeah. Oh, God, they're not going to be happy. But they're not dead either. So, look, that's a win in this godforsaken country.
Yeah. I think it was the best they could hope for.
Right. We're going to have probably half a detachment of town guards wondering why we called them a day's gallop from flipping Thistlehold here in about an hour or so. So, I mean, I'd suggest maybe putting breakfast on.
Well, the sun is definitely coming up now, and Calder and Tandrag kind of retreat into the inn and start cooking food for everyone. As they get kind of underway with that, and the rest of you are kind of damping out the last bits of fire that are left, and presumably kind of picking yourselves up, seeing, checking yourselves, and catching up with each other on the events. A voice calls out from the gate. What the pissing fuck is this?
I know that voice.
It's Dirac. He's kind of at the gate on the back of a horse. There are a couple of other guards with him, and behind them, kind of peering over their shoulders, with kind of pale and worried, is Melga on a fresh horse.
I will thank you for coming. I've still had a worse night than you. I think there's breakfast on, lads. Tie up the horses.
Well, you say that, Steo, and he climbs off his horse. But I've got a fucking hangover you wouldn't believe. And he kind of marches past you and kind of looks around, takes in the severed head of Nightblade and bits of Nightblade that are outside, and shakes his head and says, Was this the one that was after those brothers?
I think so. Anton, where are you? Can you explain any percentage of what's gone on tonight in accordance with the rules and edicts of Prios? Because I haven't got a fucking notion.
I cannot explain what I saw tonight. It was unholy. It was an abomination in the eyes of Prios.
It was an abomination in the eyes of fucking everyone. I mean, I'm going to turn...
Dirac just sighs and says, Another one. All right, let's get a drink. He just marches into the inn. By the way, I love the way that as soon as Dirac turns up, everyone starts swearing.
Yeah. It's entirely in character for me, mate. I've just survived death twice.
So,
I'm impressionable.
There's Calder and Tandrag have cooked food and made sure there's enough alcohol or non-alcohol for everyone as to their own preference and or philosophy. Everyone is kind of gathered in the inn now. The other town guards are kind of ignoring everything. They're just like, well, we didn't need to fight, so that's good. You're sat at a table now with Dirac. Blackhawk is just knocking back wine at the bar. And Dirac kind of leans into you all and says, So, where's the witch hunter? Where are the brothers?
So, one brother died. Another brother became an abomination. I think he poisoned the water up by the river, about an hour and a half north. About an hour and a half south. No, about an hour and a half north. Apologies.
No, south.
South, okay. He went off to the town. I can't even remember the name of it. I'm sorry.
It was Glimmervan.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though. We got information out of the brothers, and we need to find out. There would have been a party in from the North Gate about maybe a week ago, just covered in riches, but they would have had some kind of artifact with them. And it looks like, from what I'm guessing, everyone who touches that artifact dies or becomes an abomination and then dies.
Was that what happened here?
I don't think so, but it's similar.
All right. Just as a GM note, the party came in a couple of months ago rather than a week ago. But
Okay, thanks, sorry.
He leans forward and goes, are you talking about Gorak's group?
Maybe.
Gorak was the name.
Gorak was the name they gave as the leader of the party.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
You've got to need the names off the ledger and flipping round those guys up. And I'm going to be honest with you, lad. Kill them. Kill them while they're still human.
Well, unfortunately, they've disappeared.
Fuck me. To quote
I was
the
keeping
Jigsaw.
tabs on them anyway. That shitter Gorak running his mouth off about what he'd found. Spooking people out.
Okay. If we're lucky, the elves killed them. If we're unlucky, the elves tried to kill them and didn't manage it.
I think one of the brothers said they'd gone to see the mayor.
Night pitch.
Yeah.
This is getting fucking worse with every word out of your mouth. Gorak had that changeling he was fond of. Do you know them? He addresses this to Ascarai because obviously you know all changelings.
Would you know Ascarai was a changeling? Because doesn't he have his mask back?
Yeah, Dirac knows. Yeah.
I don't know them. If I did, I wouldn't have taken them anywhere like that. Idiots.
All right. Well, in any case, it seems like you've earned your pay.
First bit of good news in 2 days. These lads all pulled their weight. That F&A there. Whew, glad you're on our side, Effie.
Well, what can I say? Don't fuck with the party, right?
Okay. Okay. Let's get back to Thistlehold after a couple of drinks.
You're buying, right?
I don't think anyone's buying today.
I don't think, yeah. We've just saved the whole building. We'll keep that for a while.
Yeah.
I want to have a quick aside with Antom, actually, if I can pull him out somewhere.
Sure,
private.
go for it. Yeah. I think we're broadly going to wrap up there, but if anyone wants to do anything before that happens, then go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to try and surreptitiously have a chat, find you outside or at the temple or something, and go, look, that bottle of stuff. What are you going to do with it? Because it's not really yours.
How do you work that? It was given to me by Mangold.
Look, you do you, but we owe Mangold and this encampment and its owners as much gratitude as they owe us.
I agree.
You do what's right by you. Bear in mind that if that stuff makes its way back to the priests, I've seen it before, it won't be folk like this who get it in the battlefield. It'll be the officers. It'll be the nobles. So you make your choice wisely. I'm just going to turn around and leave it at that.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone wants to kind of wrap up roleplay wise, or are we happy to leave it there?
I am going to speak to Blackhawk.
Okay.
Duh. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of saunter on over to Blackhawk, and just kind of give him a playful, though because it's me and I am quite hefty, it's probably a little sturdier than.
He currently has his head kind of over his arms on the bar and grunts when you do that.
I'll do it again.
There are 2 flagons of wine on the bar next to him, empty. Big jugs of wine. You've been talking to Dirac for a while.
So, well, all I'll do is I'll say, right, you're in no fit position to talk now. I see Black Hawk. I'm gonna clap him on the back and just say, just remember us when the time comes for another song. Maybe pop by the blacksmith sometime, and then I'll tell him where I live.
He goes, there will be a great song. Oh.
Very good. Yes.
All right.
Well done. And then I'll just...
Sure.
Yes. She thinks she flirted very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
Fantastic. Like an Ambrian courtier.
Exactly.
So yeah, let's wrap up the old story there for the night. I think we had a disconnect during all that. I seem to detect. So
I don't know whether it was an hour part or...
Yeah, I'm not sure, but my version of the stream definitely had to be restarted. So I don't know what happened there. But thank you for watching, everyone. Check out our social stuff, which is mostly linked down there. All our VODs appear on YouTube, and most of our socials are Telling Tales RP. Again, we've got a Patreon now. It's just as Telling Tales. If someone wants to pop the link in the chat again for us. And also, I'd like to promo before we get on to I should say, if you've got any questions or comments or anything, pop them in the chat, and John will flash them up for us to talk about. But while we're talking about John, I just want to give a bit of a promo for John's art profiles, because John's been handling the character art and stuff most capably. So I don't know if you want to write the actual user name for your profiles as a pop-up, John, because it's otherwise I'm going to have to spell it. Because John's profile is John Dezouch, which is spelt the same way as Ashby, if you know that town. There we go. John Dezouch. So if you like the art, then go and take a look at Twitter and Instagram there for John's art stuff. Yes, thank you. Any lovely comments or questions or anything like that while we're doing this? And to give you a bit of time to pop those in, I'll also mention again, I think I mentioned last week, we've got our second series starting on Monday, October the 19th. It's going to be Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. We're well underway with the preparation for it. We've got characters rolled, relationship maps formed, stories bubbling away in my head, and the chronicle itself will be called London Ascendant, which is a whole lot of fun, and especially a whole lot of fun if you know anything about what's happened to London in Vampire 5th edition. So that's a good old laugh. It won't be supplanting this series. It'll be running alongside this series, in case anyone is wondering that somehow this will come to an end because of Vampire. Anything out there in the chat? Main question: was the second phase of Nightblade's fight planned and cunningly hidden, or improvised? Well, a GM never tells his secrets, but I was flailing. Absolutely flailing.
I don't know if you noticed in the chat, Matt, they had some... So when that happened, and you were initially like, oh, fuck, what do I do? Azimuth did actually put in the chat, like, Nightblade's corpse rises from the dead. So...
I did not see that. No, it wasn't a carefully elaborate bluff on my behalf. I was scrambling, but I think it worked out okay in the end. The very end of it, the bit with Mangold, that was planned. But it was also impossible to do, given that you fucking decapitated Nightblade. So, if I could do it again, I wouldn't have vocally scrambled. I would have gone, okay, that's fine. While internally I'm going, oh my god, what do I do? But we live and learn. So yeah. So no, it was improvised. That's fine. What was going through my head when your blade was going through Nightblade's Ephenea? from
Alright,
Pierre.
so I don't know what, is that like an in-character question, I'm guessing then? Because I believe what was going through Ephanair's head, mainly when she's in her berserker rage, it's just red mist, to be honest. It's literally, like if you could get like a verbal kind of transcript of what was going through her head, it would just be caps locks A.
Although I like to think that if you weren't in your berserker rage, I don't know, I could just imagine Ephanair's first thought being fucking get in.
Literally. No, it'd be like Nighthawk.
Nailed it.
Nighthawk. Blackhawk's totally gonna notice me now.
We need to take Blackhawk with us. Just a bit of inspiration.
Oh Jesus, please God, no, never.
It's the lucky charm.
Oh.
Yeah. Anything else? How many archers are around? Does Steo hold grudges? I don't kind of get that. Does anyone get that?
About the well, the thing is, in my mind, I think I get where this is going. And initially, kind of the first thing that woke us up was a volley of arrows.
All right.
And then there were no further volleys of arrows. And Steo, like, he's always kind of like, what's the worst possible situation that could happen? Because that's probably what's happening. Yes. So how can that go wrong?
And Tom had arrows fired at him when he was riding the horse as a decoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was probably more friends in the thickets. So Steo, I think I'm doing a fairly good job of keeping Steo cynically tactical in these kind of situations. Absolutely. Good enough.
That's everything. So thanks again for watching, folks. Thanks to my wonderful players. Thanks to the equally or even more wonderful John. We'll be back next week. We'll be picking up with the next kind of story in this continuing campaign. And I'm sure nothing will go wrong. Everything will be happy and wonderful. And I'm sure the horror aspects of this will retreat into the distance, and it'll just be a grand D&D style adventure-y dungeon romp.
A little romp.
Just a romp. It'll be a romp. Thanks for watching, folks, and we will see you again soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.